they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back, you ain't fitting for it cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play. Moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger. Hey, please don't play no games with me, I promise I'm too much. Hey, I can never let up even if you had enough. Hey, this ain't for the faint of heart, we always playing rough. I had enough, it ain't luck. I needed a vision, I needed ambition, I needed a mission to beat in submission with no intermission. I see the collision, the crash in the distance, they coming off track, no. When they ask what's the motive, don't talk about the show them. They all about to see what I mean in the moment. I gotta keep going, I'm shaking the dice and they're keeping it rolling, they already know. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand, ayy. We on overtime, you don't need to understand, ayy. You just show them how to do it when you don't know what to say. Tell me how you plan to win if you plan to play. So moving fast, already gone, yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog, just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing. Keep it moving, what we doing. Cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger, cause it can get bigger.
We are in the building. Salute to everybody who is in the building. I see we're slow to creep in the building this time. Shout out to everybody who is here. Clap it up one time. The weigh-ins are in. Tomorrow night it goes down. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul figure it out. We figure it out. The boxing space. If you have any questions that need to be answered, these are the nights we look forward to happening because this is when the questions get answered. Most of us, I think, going into this particular situation probably already have our answers already. I mean, on paper, this really is a black and white situation. Really no real arguments to be made. The only thing that probably is sitting here floating in the air is the actual fight happening. And of course, there's always the process of chance and what that brings to the table, right? Jake Paul can land something significant if Anthony Joshua puts his guard down in the wrong way or doesn't take the fight seriously as he should, et cetera, et cetera. We can see a big upset. But for the most part, I think we're all in a position of seeing this fight come together and understanding that this fight was put together because of popularity, right? This fight was put together because of the status quo of the commercial value of Jake Paul, and nobody else could probably get into a situation like this to where they're doing this fight with a two-time unified heavyweight champion, a gold medalist Olympian at this point in Jake Paul's career, right? We know that that's not normal, but we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. And we're going to see what ends up happening because that's what we do as fight fans. And listen, man, you never know. And there's also the reality behind the situation that we want to see we would like to see a third eye be awakened in the boxing space amongst fans and even amongst the people like Jake Paul who would come behind Jake Paul as influencers in the space and want to push a narrative that they can compete at this level, right? I mean, there's a rites of passage that all these fighters go through to get to this big conversation. And Jake Paul does seem like, he doesn't seem like he has. He's definitely circumvented and gone past and not taken those same assignments that these other fighters have taken to get to this big picture. But here we are. The weigh-ins are in. I believe Jake Paul came in about 216 pounds, which is awesome, right? That means to me, it says that Jake Paul is in some form of shape or another, right? He's in shape. When Jake Paul went into his last fight with Mike Tyson. He was about 225 to 226 pounds, somewhere in that range. I'm not too sure, but he came in way bigger. Obviously, he wanted to acclimate to the heavyweight division. What did he learn from that fight? Maybe he learned that the conditioning was a concern of his. Maybe he had a little too much weight. He comes in on this one not focused on being big enough so much in competing with Anthony Joshua, but it looks like he's probably also focused on that conditioning aspect of this game, right? The fact that this can go into the later rounds. I'm sure Jake Paul is looking to push this somewhere in the later rounds. It's going to take him some time to process the data to make a game plan that makes sense to where we're going to see Jake Paul be able to go ahead and, find some sort of victory in this, right? You know what I mean? Something. I was talking to my guy Angelo Reyes a little bit earlier today, and he'll be on the show in a minute as well. But I definitely was talking to him about what is the road to victory for Jake Paul, and where does it start at? I mean, just to sit here and say Jake Paul has a chance at winning this fight, this is an overreach, to say the least, if you don't even understand how he can even do the simplest things, right? Where is the space that Jake Paul makes this fight a fight that becomes competitive? What place is it? He's down on the height. He's down on the reach. He's down on the weight. He's down on the experience. He's down in all these different aspects of the game. Where is this gray area that Jake Paul finds an opportunity to turn this fight into something competitive, into something entertaining? Because I think most people at this point can't even see how he gets there. Because at the end of the day, before Jake Paul can knock Anthony Joshua out, he needs to hit Anthony Joshua, right? And he needs to hit him clean. At some point in this fight, Jake Paul needs to make this fight a fight. And until he's able to do that, then this is going to be truly a one-sided affair. And look, the obvious elephant in the room is the experience and the pedigree that Jake Paul does not have going into this fight. It's easy to just write this fight off, and I'm sure a lot of people are just writing this fight off. And I'm not going to even fault you. But if you're going to watch this fight, if that's what you're going to do, then I'm going to assume you're going to watch this fight and you're going to want to see where can this fight be competitive at. So we'll talk about that today, obviously with the usual suspects, Angelo Reyes and my guy Ray Davis. We'll talk about that today as well. Anthony Joshua did a great interview with Eddie Hearn. The interview was a great interview. Anthony Joshua, it's always good to be able to tap into the mentality of a fighter, especially right before a fight, to see where he's at. Kind of gives you a heads up on maybe what to expect from the fight, right? Nothing's guaranteed. This interview was a great interview because I think Anthony Joshua seems to be really dialed into his career, right? He's not so concerned about the legacy as much as he's still looking forward to this Tyson Fury potential fight that can happen. He's looking forward to the things that are going to happen after this fight. So the reason I think that's important is for us to take that into consideration and know that Anthony Joshua is not trying to end it with this fight. He's not trying to make this fight the end of Anthony Joshua. And I think there's a good argument there to say that if he were to lose to Jake Paul or even make this fight too competitive, he'd be risking those things he has aspirations of getting an opportunity to accomplish in the future. So I don't think, I know a lot of people want to play the game of the scripted conversation as far as this being set up, predetermined, a lot of money being exchanged for this to look a certain way. I personally don't subscribe to it, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be honest with you. I really don't subscribe to the idea of that. I think that what's happening is Jake Paul's put himself into the situation to where he's in front of a serious boxer who takes himself seriously and what he does seriously. I'd like to believe Jake Paul takes himself just as seriously. He may have overstepped and overreached on this one and put himself into a very dangerous situation. I think the environment came together and a lot of things came together at the right time and put Jake Paul in this situation. I don't know if I would stand on the idea that Jake Paul did this by design. I think this is something that needed to be done based off of another fight that fell apart at the seams with Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think Jake is here now. And I don't know how much all of that matters in the bigger picture, because at the end of the day, no matter how you want to line this up, we're going to be watching Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul figure it out tomorrow night. It's done. The weigh-ins are in. I believe Anthony Joshua hit the scales and came down at 243.4 pounds, which I think is another great thing. I think that just means that Anthony Joshua is in great shape, right? I think he's as athletic as he's probably been in a long time to come in at a weight like that. And that's probably the respect he's given to Jake Paul at the end of the day. As much as people would like him to just disrespect Jake Paul and not even prepare for him and think that he could just, go in there as he sees fit, as an example, maybe Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou, Jake Paul's clearly not approaching this the same way. Not Jake Paul. Anthony Joshua is clearly not approaching this the same way. He's in great shape. 243.4 pounds, I think, is a good look for him. And I'm expecting him to be the best version of himself he can be tomorrow. Anthony Joshua, one thing about it is he seems to pretty much put everybody, according to what he says out of his mouth, on an even playing field, right? He believes Jake Paul is his opponent, and Jake Paul is going to be prepared, and he's preparing for the best version of Jake Paul that the world has ever seen, and he's not going to leave any stone unturned. And that doesn't sound good for Jake Paul at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to step back, and we're going to watch that as well. He talked about Tyson Fury. There'll be other things I'm sure we'll talk about. I'm going to go ahead and bring in the usual suspects, of course, into the room right now. 1 second as I bring them in. Let me cue it up. Let me see, make sure I'm set up correctly. We got the usual suspects, Angelo Reyes Boxing and Ray.
The Angelo clap. Salute. What's going on, AR? What's going on, CR? What's going on?
What's good?
I saw Ray Davis picked up RJ Harvey. So I see you, Ray. I see you trying to make it to the final two.
Hey man, listen, man. I pick up winners, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, you do, man. I'm rooting for you and me to be the two in the finals, because then we'll have something to talk about.
Man, so you're one of the three? You're one of the three?
Yeah,
Ray?
yeah. No, he's in the final three. Yeah,
no, I know him. Ray is. I didn't know if you were still.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. I'm the defending champ.
Oh, you're the defending champ. Okay, well, I didn't know.
Yeah, he got the cheat code. So
no, well, I'm just saying, when you play elimination style fantasy football, for you guys who don't understand what me and Ray and Claymore are talking about, me and Ray Davis are in the same fantasy football league, and it's guillotine style. It's a very different way of playing the game. No, it's not scripted, not rigged. Very similar to the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. After listening to Anthony Joshua on the press conference yesterday, and he got kind of deep when he talked about the whole "if he dies, he dies" kind of a connotation. But I think the way Jake was saying, or the way Anthony Joshua was saying it is, I have a job. This is my chosen profession. It's not my job to worry about the health of the person I'm trying to put away. I hope they come out well, but it's not my job to think about that. My only job is to go out there and kill who you put in front of me. And I thought that was a very telling thing. I was like, yep, sounds pretty serious to me.
That's what it comes down to, right, though, Angelo? Like, the instructions are clear. The last instructions before the bell rings is protect yourself at all times.
Right.
It's not make sure you don't hit him the wrong way, and make sure you guys take each other into consideration at all times. No, it's right. This is your job. This is your responsibility. Be accountable for yourself, and you shouldn't have bit off more than you can chew. It's not my problem at this point. I'm here to referee, make sure everybody's following the rules, and both you guys are in here with an assignment to do something bad to each other with the hopes of getting a victory at the end of it. Good luck to both gentlemen. Now you guys can go to your corners, and I'll let you know when you guys can start the rumble.
Right. And I think that's exactly why, guys, that you see the interest in this fight, right? This is getting mainstream news, not so what we're used to in the boxing space is the very niche group of wine connoisseurs, so to say, who's into fine dining and wine, right? Like, that's kind of how boxing is, right, Clay? Like, there's a few group of us who sat there and watched the Japanese card early in the morning on Wednesday, or the one in the UK that happened yesterday, or the one in Australia with Tim Tszyu, right? Mm-hmm. But if I go to someone who's just a casual sports fan, and I say, hey, did you know Tim Tszyu fought? They wouldn't even know that it was just last year that Tim Tszyu was the unified WBC, WBO champ. They would have no clue. That was just a year ago, bro.
Wait,
like
He wasn't unified.
Yeah, 2024 is when he lost, right?
Yeah,
2024 is when he lost.
There was a vacant WBC title.
Okay. So he was the WBO,
right.
And then it was the vacant WBC. Sure, all right. But exactly the way you guys just answered me is exactly to my point. You see how we can have a fine dining wine connoisseur type conversation where Ray Davis could sit there and go, no, that the note on that was a little bit more like blackberry and less coffee, right?
And then you were like, you know what? Touche. It was actually
right. But again, that's exactly my point, because when we're talking about Jake Paul, and the reason why this is mainstream news is Jake Paul's a smash burger, bro. Everybody knows what it is.
My smash burger metaphor ages well.
Listen, man. Clay loves the smash burger,
but that's the whole point, is that everybody knows when you I don't think it's an uncommon thing. I don't think we can walk into any conversation in regular mainstream America and go, hey, so and so, have you ever tried a smash burger? And the person would sit there and look at us and go, I don't know what a bloody smash burger is, right? They all know what a smash burger is because it's become common language. Okay. And Jake Paul is exactly that. He's common language. I think that what we try to do on a show like this one is we try to do our best to explain to everyone that not all dining is equal. There's smash burgers, and then there's 3 Michelin star fine dining. And this is one of those times where the cultures kind of mix, right? Which is why you're hearing some of the people like Deontay Wilder, who got a cease and desist letter, right? And now he may be getting sued by Jake Paul for saying the words scripted, right? Right? Like he said. Now, me personally, and just like what Clay said, and I'm sure you too, Ray, none of us think this is scripted. Like, how could you even do that? It's federally against the law. I can't see Anthony Joshua coming all the way, building his brand up this high, all the way from the UK just to come to Miami, just to make it be like not a real. No, he's taking this very seriously. And if anything, the way he looks, man, the way he looked at weigh-ins, bro, the last time he weighed in the 240s, he was good. Like he was moving, jabs were sharp. Like that was the worst thing that Jake asked him to do, is to get smaller. Like it might have been bigger if he said.
That's what I thought in my mind too. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I heard about the 245 weight limitation, I'm like, you're just gonna make this. I would have hoped he came in 260 or something, and maybe I could have worked on his gas tank a little bit and took advantage of some poor conditioning. I think this version of Anthony Joshua is about as bad as version that you want to get in the ring with. But
agreed.
Yeah, no, and again, there's excitement to it, right, guys? I mean, I maybe I'll be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that if 57 million people watched Kansas City Chiefs versus Dallas Cowboys on a Thursday night football game, right, a couple of weeks ago, Ray, that it'll probably hit close to that number. I might be wrong on a Friday night. What do you think, Ray? There's a lot of college football and there's a lot of NFL coming this weekend, but tomorrow night in particular, 8 p.m. East Coast time, 5 p.m. Pacific time, and that sweet spot of like prime time, like that next 3 hours of 8 to 11. Can you see any other, like, do you think a college football game is going to take away from the Netflix?
No, not at all. This is so the prime thing about boxing, and I think this is the only sport besides like Super Bowls, like when you're in the championship level of sports, where you want to see if the guy's going to beat your favorite guy. You know what I mean? Because it's always the opportunity of see the up and coming star or the unknown familiar person in that ring to pull an upset. That's just the name of the game. We watch the sport to see the upset. Regardless of what you really think it is or who your favorite fighter is, yeah, you want them to win. But at the same time, it's never a true telling story. We can assume, we can predict, we can do whatever we want. But when they get in that ring, the better fighter is going to win. I don't put it past anything to say that a lot of people question the chin of Anthony Joshua and tricking him down in weight. Maybe does it deplete him? Does it drain muscle? You know what I mean? Water to the muscle, or is he draining bodily fluids for fat or whatever the thing may be? But here's the thing: if Jake Paul has an idea, he's going to try to stay away from Paul. Like Clay said, he's going to try to wear him out. He's going to try to do a lot of things. Jake Paul has a significant chance of landing something big because of the fact that we don't know really what AJ's chin really is. But at the same time, everyone wants to see Jake Paul get his head knocked from one end of the turnbuckle to the other and get the hell up out of there. So they're paying attention to this fight to see if the favorite is going to win. And a lot of the opinions is Jake Paul's the American powerhouse, right? He's the favorite. So people are going to tune in. It's real live TV, and it's what it is and what it's worth in a fashion of
AJ's the powerhouse.
No, yeah. Well, no.
Yeah,
I'm saying Jake Paul's the American powerhouse of fan base. Like he is the person that's going to bring the audience, and people want to see him lose. They want to see him lose. He's defied the odds this far, right? So now this is the time for him to lose. So now you got a guy that's a former 3-time champion. You got a guy that's coming in here to win a fight. You got a guy that's coming in here to appreciate himself and dominate a fight. And they don't know who he is, but they just know he's a giant compared to Jake Paul. Can Jake Paul pull it off? Is Jake Paul that guy? This is the fan base talking, his fan base. Then you got the casual fan base that don't know anything about boxing, but they know who Jake Paul is. Oh, he's fighting that British guy. He's going to – look how big that guy is. He's a massive guy. Pause, by the way. He's going to go in there. He's going to – nope. He's going to go in there. He's going to probably get his clock clean, and it's going to be what the fans pay to see. Even though they're not paying for it unless you have a subscription to Netflix. Go subscribe. Netflix, send a check. Anyway.
You know what? I heard there might be like a ppv.com access. Like if you don't have Netflix, like you could pay it.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Is that true, bro?
I don't know. Don't quote me. I'm just
okay.
I heard
he's only here.
Netflix right now on a trial run will cost you $7. So open up the pocketbooks for $7.
Exactly. If you're not gonna if you're on strike from Netflix, and I mean it is what it is. Right, but I got a question though, right, guys? I was talking to Angelo about this. Hold on one second though. CJ Rich Boxing and BS always supporting the channel. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man, for putting some color in the chat. Of course, we always tell everybody in the chat, feel free to support. A little color goes a long way, helps the channel, do what the channel does. Obviously there are expenses to providing this type of situation. So I appreciate all support to the channel. But thank you, CJ Rich. That being said, guys, I was talking to Ray. I was talking to Angelo about this earlier, and I said, listen, it's one thing to just call this fight out and write it off and just say there's absolutely no way that Jake Paul can win this fight. I think that's a legitimate argument for the most part. If you're just going to be just speak over it real quick and just get to it and say, yeah, I'm not expecting much from this. This is a big mismatch, not only in the size of Anthony Joshua, in the power of Anthony Joshua, but also you bring in the experience, the pedigree. I mean, everything checks boxes on the side of Anthony Joshua. Jake Paul coming in this with just a prayer, a dream and a prayer, right, of what he wants to do. And he wants to, be defiant to the odds and defiant to the status quo or standards of what people say makes a fighter. He believes he can will this. He believes because of his determination and his unique DNA when it comes to not of having the courage to face inevitable odds, right? That he can pull this off. And that's what's up, right? But outside of that, if Jake Paul is going to compete in this fight and make this fight competitive in any kind of way, or God forbid, win this fight, I don't even want to say God forbid, right? Like, good luck to both guys, right? But if he is going to find because a part of me, I ain't gonna lie, obviously you guys know I'm rooting for boxing, and I just don't believe Jake Paul winning this is good for boxing. But anyway, that being said, if he is going to get a victory, there's a road to it. There's a path to it. There's a space. A little space of where he needs to sit in that space and get comfortable in that space, and that'll be where he finds victory. Have any of the gentlemen on this panel put any thought into that and what that looks like, and care to share with the community how that looks if Jake Paul's able to pull this off.
Only way I see him pulling that off is Canelo's payday. They want payday. I know that.
I know that.
So that's the only way she just getting pulled off. There's no way, shape, or form. The worst thing that I can see happen if Joshua's not going to settle for a payday with Jake Paul or in some loss. So if worst comes to worst, it's going to be a draw. If they went down that road of paying Joshua off, because he's not gonna put himself in a position to walk home go home to England and lose to a YouTuber. Worst case scenario, they say, hey, listen, man, it was really exhibition. He goes home, he's really exhibition. It was a draw. They had the different gloves on. I lost a lot of weight. He can give the excuses now because of all the things that he went through. And then people will say, okay, well, we understand that. It was an exhibition, practically. It wasn't a real fight. You know what I mean? So that's the only way I see anything going other than AJ's victory. I think AJ is going to pull the same move he did with Francis Ngannou. I think he's going to wait. He's going to lay this guy out as quickly and as swiftly as possible. He's probably not even going to let this guy even get a feel for the ring. And as far as him dying and all the celebration that Angelo was speaking on, basically on what AJ said, man, it's game prep talk, man. They have to do it. They have to sell the fight. And guess what? All right, they didn't sell it this whole time. Guess when they're selling it? They're selling it right now. Why? Because it's fight week. Why? Because the weigh-in happened. Why? Because it's time, and the time is now. Shout out to DAZN. DAZN, you need to send me a check. Listen, I'm telling you, it's right now. This is the time we want to see, and it's not even about them fighting. This is the fun part. If everybody really looks at it, it's the undercard. It's what he brings to boxing in that way. Because yes, Jake Paul is the person that brings the eyes there, but when you start putting other people on the undercard that sells or needs to be known or brought up and bring attention, especially to women's boxing, that's what he's promoting. So at the end of the day, yes, you're watching this, but you're getting this. So, you know what I mean? It's all a win-win for both sides.
Yeah, no. If we're gonna keep, if we're gonna stay on brand with what we do in this space, in this channel, right? It's easier to bash it or talk down on it or any of this. But to your question, Clay, like, do we have to actually give it consideration, right? How could Jake Paul win this fight? We're gonna stay on brand about it because this is what is being given in front of us, right? Mm-hmm. If we're a food critic and you give us a plate of food, it's not my job to criticize it before I even taste it. My job is to taste it, and then I'll tell you, right? But but prior to you sending me this plate, if the question is, well, do you see a chance, Angelo, that this food could taste good? I'm going to be like, I don't know. It's possible. It's possible my palate could like this food, right? It may look like crap, but I don't know, right? And I say that to say that there's so many different cultures out there that we have this, even in American culture, but in Filipino culture for sure. I'll be like, hey, you know what? Ray, try this dish. And it may not look appealing at first to Ray, but I'm like, bro, trust me, try the dish. And then Ray's like, damn, this is hella good. What is it? And I'm like, do you really want to know how we did it? Or would you just like to eat
Eddie at my job brings us the food all the time, man.
Right.
He brings us the Filipino noodles, man. It's good.
Right.
Love it.
So I say that again, Clay, because the question is, well, what is the pathway? Okay, well, first off, Ray mentioned it, Ngannou. The only reason why Ngannou even had a chance to fight Anthony Joshua in February of 2024 is because in October of 2023, Francis Ngannou stepped in with who at the time was considered the best heavyweight in the world, the guy who destroyed Deontay Wilder, right? That epic trilogy in Tyson Fury and what happened in that particular fight, which was not shown on Netflix, right? Mm-hmm. What made it more popular in the sense of everybody, or at least there was a good massive audience to watch it, is because Francis Ngannou was the UFC heavyweight champion in the world, and Dana White had said he was the baddest man on the planet, right? Like there was that whole narrative about Francis Ngannou being this scary, huge beast, Adonis-like figure. He could destroy you. And because MMA is such a, that's what a real combat sport looks like, right? Because you do everything. And this guy decided to step in the ring with who at the time is considered to be the technical, one of the best heavyweights. Look at what he did to Wilder. And all of us, right? This guy included, with our wine, with our wine and cheese and our Michelin star fine dining, was sitting there going, there's no way Ngannou even makes it past X rounds. If Ngannou even makes it past X rounds, then it must be because Tyson Fury's not even trying. Some people even went out and said words like, even if Tyson Fury doesn't train for this, he'd still destroy Ngannou. All those statements, you guys could look back to 2 years ago, was said. And what happened? Ngannou knocked him down. It was closer than everybody thought. And everybody was like, oh, right?
Right.
The very thing that McGregor, who at the peak of his MMA career, went in to step into a retiring Floyd Mayweather. And this guy, look at him, was sitting there going, Floyd's going to knock this fool out in like 3 rounds. This isn't even going to be close. On that particular day and on that particular time, all of us in the boxing world were sharing that idea again, that unless you are a wine connoisseur or a Michelin star dining experience person, you really don't know shit about boxing. And that's kind of what was happening. It was like, you have to either really pay attention to boxing to understand why we are so critical of them, or you could just not talk to us about it because you're the common person. Like, you go eat your smash burger, man, right? Like, and that was the divide that was happening. And the Mayweather-McGregor was the height of that divide. It was like, now do you understand that McGregor is a smash burger and that Floyd Mayweather is fine dining? Okay, good. Now conversation's over, right? Then Jake Paul appears, right? And Jake Paul then starts to kind of show like, no, maybe a smash burger can become a Michelin star smash burger too, right? And then he starts doing things. And then what happens, right? Tyrone Woodley, bro, the UFC champ. Not only does he fight him the first time and gets it to a split decision, the second time he just sparks him. He sparked them, dude. And we couldn't even use excuses like, well, Tyrone Woodley's old. Wasn't that old? Well, Tyrone Woodley's not in shape. No, he was in good shape, right? Well, Tyrone Woodley's not a real champ. No, I can argue that he might have been one of the best champions of that division for the UFC. So all we now saw is this idea that boxing as an art form is such an art form in itself that no matter what art you were doing, you can't just come into this space and disrespect it and think that just about anyone. You actually have to be serious about it, like Jake Paul did, to which, how many times have you guys heard me say the words, not only do I not disrespect Jake Paul, I appreciate all the things that he's done for boxing. I appreciate that someone as rich as him, who clearly does not need to box at all, continues to choose to put himself into the art form and put himself into the pain and get his nose twisted and get his eye jacked up in sparring because he really wants to get good at it. Good for you, Jake. That's why we don't cut you down, right? But again, this is the plate of food analogy. If you put it in front of us, knowing what we know, it's hard for us to even make a convincing argument as to why Jake Paul has a chance to win this fight, right? That's the point. But the crazy thing to me, which I've said to you guys on the show just a week ago, when I bet on Ryan Garcia, it was because for whatever dumb reason, Vegas had him as a plus 1,100 against Devin Haney. And you can't disregard Ryan Garcia that poorly, right? A plus 1,100, come on, like a plus 100, a plus 200, things like that. Sure, no problem. But you're saying that you're going to give me 10 to 1, 11 to 1 money that Ryan Garcia couldn't beat Devin Haney at the time? I got to bet on that.
Right.
What's crazy to me is currently right now, unless the odds have changed, gentlemen, Jake Paul is only a plus 600. That's half, Ray. So in what world did I wake up to that so many people are putting $5 million on Jake? Nate Diaz is betting on Jake. So now that it's out there, Clay, we at ATP Combat Media have to do our jobs and actually cover this as what it is. What is the way for Jake Paul to win this fight? How is it possible for Jake Paul to win this fight? Because there are real people with real money, Ray Davis, that are actually betting it on Jake Paul to win the fight, right? So how can he do it? We've seen Jake Paul, or we've seen Anthony Joshua get knocked down. It's not like he's undefeated. He lost to Andy Ruiz. He lost to Daniel Dubois just recently and got knocked down several times. So now we do have to sit there and put out the fact that when somebody in the heavyweight division gets knocked down that many times, we start to ask the question about punch resistance, right? Yep. We also have to say that Anthony Joshua is 37 years old now, right, Clay? These are all just facts. Like this isn't just us like making up shit. We're the fact that Jake Paul is only 28. Jake Paul is coming off an all-time high and beating Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Somehow he truly believes he can do this. He came in shape at 216 pounds. So is there that sliver, that chance? We can't definitively say no. Then that would be wrong. Man. It would be incorrect for us to do that. If he can fit his
hand inside that little hole and reach in there, he can grab.
Let me tell you,
man. Look, Ray, and I know you like talking about the old days, but
and scrape his knuckles a little bit on the way in. You know what I mean?
Let me give you this.
His wrist a little bit, but if he get it in there,
let me just throw this out there too, Ray, and so that you know. But it wasn't that long ago in the 80s, there was a guy by the name of Leon Spinks who only had 7 fights that fought Muhammad Ali, and at the time, man, everyone thought, "Oh, there's no way Muhammad Ali's going to lose." He lost. Right now, I'm not comparing Leon Spinks to Jake Paul. What I'm saying is this has happened before where everyone is so convinced that there's no way something can happen.
Well, shit, we just seen
and then it just does. So we don't know.
Yeah, we just seen that multiple times. And I want to give you instead of using that smash burger analogy, see, I'm more of a
what's wrong with smash burger
type person, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, y'all need to cut the check for both of these guys. Anyway. I always like to compare the false American brand called the Pontiac Fiero, which everybody thought was a 305 GTB Ferrari that Magnum PI drove. Very similar looking cars, but if you know what it is, I always say a Fiero versus a Ferrari, right?
Right.
You can pull up the Fiero to the show, the Ferrari show, but everybody gonna look at it like, huh? What kind of Ferrari is that? Got the horse on the hood. Start with an F. You know what I mean? Cut the same, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive. Oh, yeah. We all fun and games. But then when you get to that point, you like, something wrong about this car. Something just don't look right. The gills is a little crooked. Man, why does it say Pontiac on it? Ferrari ain't got no... What? Oh, I can't hear. I didn't know you were talking, Clay. Oh, okay, got you. So I'm like sitting there like, yeah, man. This is crazy, right? So I always look at it as that. Now, here's the fun thing about that analogy, right? A Ferrari goes a certain amount of speed because of a certain amount of horses, costs a lot of money, right? Your premium car, exotic. Matter of fact, they call them supercars now. But you can go get yourself a Fiero. You go swap yourself a V8 Corvette LS1 engine in it. Throw a supercharger on that bad boy. It may break and you may lose, but it also has the power and the capabilities of beating that Ferrari, putting on the show. So the point is, I'm making is, yeah, it could be a Fiero, but you can also train it to make it better, right? So it's the same type of scenario as the smash burger analogy and making it to the Michelin restaurants, and you know what I mean? Like, we good. So just don't sleep on the Fiero, man. It has a chance, and the Ferrari could break down too. You know what I mean? You can have a both stock Fiero, the Ferrari break at the line. So don't sleep on it.
Right. Now again, and Clay, I know, me and Clay, we talked about this for so long privately.
Oh man.
In no world, guys, is anyone on this panel saying to you that Jake Paul is going to win. There's not one of us. What we're saying to you is, unlike other channels who the easy narrative to do here is to go, oh, this is atrocious and this is trash. And we're not going to do that. We have to cover it. You're giving us this plate. So we got to cover it for real. We got to cover it for real, right? This fight is happening. A commission is allowing it, right? And no matter, guys, it wasn't like, look back on the ATP Combat Media tape, man. It was just like 3 weeks ago that me, Clay, and Ray were having this argument about why I thought this fight should not be happening, and it's wrong. And if Jake Paul seriously gets in a coma, how is everything going to be looked at? And then this thing got signed. This thing got signed, which means a commission in the United States of America allowed it. They couldn't get the UK to do it. They couldn't get Riyadh to do it. They couldn't get New York to do it. They couldn't get California to do it. They couldn't get Vegas to do it. They couldn't even get Texas to do it. All right. They had to go to Miami or Florida or whatever. So since it's being given in front of us, we now have to cover it as it is, right? And as it is, I'm not the one that bet $5 million on Jake Paul, but someone did. Someone bid $5 million. All right, come on, man.
That's real.
Yeah, that's a real figure. There are people literally betting money on Jake Paul. Nate Diaz is betting money on Jake. If Drake bets on Jake Paul, right? Like, this is real, man. People are betting on him.
You know what? You said Nate Diaz is betting money on Jake Paul, right? Clearly, I mean, these are fighters, right? Not boxers per se is their discipline, but these guys understand combat sports and the science. And clearly they're seeing something in Anthony Joshua, whether it's because of how he performed against Andy Ruiz. They're seeing something there that they believe the right fighter can take advantage of. Like Ray said, maybe he's chinny. Maybe they think that, what it is, who knows? Their arguments are there to say that Jake Paul has an opportunity to be one of the most athletic fighters that Anthony Joshua has been in front of. I mean, you can talk about it, until your face turns blue as far as, yeah, right, what are we doing? But no, everybody humble yourself a little bit. Humble yourself just a little bit and be honest with yourself and say, who has Anthony Joshua been in the ring with who's this short, this much smaller than him, athletic, has some power that he's shown in the past? We don't know what it translates like into the heavyweight division. Is this something that we're looking over that these other people are looking at? And are we sleeping on this? Are we in for a rude awakening tomorrow in the idea that styles make fights and that Jake Paul is able to deliver something to an Anthony Joshua who somebody has seen weaknesses in, but has not been able to take advantage of the weaknesses because of their inability to be athletic enough to deliver the kind of performance that needs to be performed to expose maybe a Anthony Joshua who's somebody who's used to fighting big heavyweights. And let's be honest, most of the time, he's probably the more athletic one in the ring. What do you guys think about that?
Agreed, 1,000%. And I was thinking the same thing. When you started seeing athletic fighters and guys that can punch and move in the ring a little quicker than Anthony Joshua, he kind of looked like a statue, right? You seen it with Ruiz. Ruiz was sitting there punching around. Everybody thought Ruiz was this butterball, and this guy wasn't going to be able to move. That guy was fleet of foot and made him look bad, right? Put him down, hurt him. Then you also had another fight, and AJ wore himself out. Then you had another fight when he fought Usyk twice. And it looked bad both times. I mean, the second time was a little better. I'll give him that. I think that was
decision. It was better. It was better.
Yeah, it was better, right? I think that was a close fight, in my opinion, a little bit. But I think that we look at AJ in the spirit of he has flaws, and flaws can be dealt with, right? We all forget about Mike Tyson versus freaking Buster Douglas. No one knew who Buster Douglas was. No one gave him a chance. And the 5 people that probably bet on Buster Douglas probably became millionaires overnight for betting $1 back then. I promise you, because I don't think there was anyone in hell that thought Buster Douglas was going to beat Mike Tyson. So things can happen. You don't know how the ref's going to count. You don't know what the judges are going to say. You don't know if there's a cut on the eye. There's so many ways this fight can go and how it can change and how it ends up being a loss or no contest or whatever the case may be for Jake Paul's favor. So we have to be understandable and realize that these are two combatants in the ring. People sleep on Jake Paul as a fighter. Like, bro, he's legit. Is he legit enough to say, okay, he's a pro? No, but he's fighting a pro now, and he's going to prove that to us. He wants to prove that to us. He wants to say he's the face of boxing. And AJ's like, yo, listen, lad, listen here, governor. Don't let me kill you. You know what I mean? I get it, right? He's definitely on any British people here. Sorry, I made offense to your common English, but I'm bad at it. Anyway, let's get truthful with it. Listen, man, AJ is the guy that's supposed to win this fight, but we just can't look past the factors that there's always a crack in the wall. And if there's a crack in the wall, anything and everything can get in, including water. So water starts as a drop and it can turn to a flood. So just remember that.
Yeah, and again, look, guys, right? I have to keep repeating this. Yes,
it doesn't matter, Angelo. They're never going to. You can.
No.
They're going to throw this in your face.
I want to make sure that we're
on Sunday. They're going to throw it in our face, and they're going to say that we gave Jake Paul a chance to win.
I know, right?
They're going to throw it in our face, and no matter what. The fact that we're even talking about this is blasphemous. Right. According to a lot of boxing fans, we're not allowed to do this. So, but do it.
Right. No. I think we have to do it just so that there's a recording of it being said. Okay. Yes, we, the three of us, yes, all are in the understanding and agreement and very high agreement. The fact that Anthony Joshua in his entire career as a gold medalist beating Zhilei Zhang in the Olympics, coming off of as a teenager going into the Olympics, right? Goes in, beats Vladimir Klitschko to become the world champion. His first loss being Andy Ruiz, who, by the way, doesn't suck, right? That was a 10-day notice that he wasn't really prepared for in style, and he was winning the fight up until that point. He was getting ready to knock out Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz catches him. The rest is history. Then he comes back. He goes to Riyadh. I can argue to say that the reason why Turki Al-Sheikh is even involved in boxing is maybe because of Anthony Joshua fighting in Riyadh against Andy Ruiz in 2019, I think that was, and that's what maybe got the ball rolling, or 2021. And then anyways, then he fights Alexander Usyk as his next loss. The same Alexander Usyk we talk about today as now the pound-for-pound #1 best boxer in the world, because Terrence Crawford just retired yesterday. So that's the same Anthony Joshua. Yes, chat, we agree with you. Yes, it is so hard for any of us to even have any type of factual scientific argument as to how Jake Paul has a chance. Yes, and even when Ray was sitting there talking about, well, yeah, Anthony Joshua last year against Daniel Dubois, the 27-year-old IBF champion who knocked him around, right? Maybe he's a little bit more chinny now. Even that argument, we understand you. It's weak because we're talking about Daniel Dubois, who is 27 years old and one of the best heavyweight world champions.
One of the best comebacks of 2024, going through Jarrell Big Baby Miller, Philip Ergovich, you know what I'm saying, coming full circle. You know what I mean? Like, so we're talking about tried true at a minimum. Forget about whatever reputation he built himself, but still continue, Angelo.
No. We just want to make it clear.
The reasons that we know.
We're making it clear to you that there is no one in this panel that believes, no one in this panel is betting money that there's even a hint of chance. I myself, I'm telling you right now publicly, had a private conversation with one of my friends who lives out there in France, right? I don't want to mention your name. And him and I, when he came here to visit just this summer, I was like, bro, if that fight ever happens, which at the time I was telling him, I said, I don't think it'll happen because it's too dangerous. A commission could never allow this. And then he was like, why? You know, and again, he's speaking from the casual fan base side of why couldn't something like this happen? Why couldn't a spectacle like this happen, right? And I said to him, these were my exact words. This was like in July of this year. I said, Clay, I said, listen to me, man. The first time Anthony Joshua throws a jab at Jake Paul, that might be game over already. That's how terrible of a match this fight would be, right? And we were laughing about it, and it was all in good fun. Ha, ha, ha. Because at the time, guys, just a few months ago, we didn't actually think a commission would be crazy enough to allow this crap. But it's here now. It's happening. So if we're going to keep our journalistic pride and integrity, we must cover this for real. And we do have to talk about how could Jake Paul win this? Why are people betting so much money on him? Right? Like, what are some of the weaknesses, as to Ray's point, that Anthony Joshua has shown to possibly give a unicorn chance that Jake Paul could do this? So again, Clay, I hope that's enough tape so that on Saturday nobody comes back and says the three of us were rooting for Jake Paul.
It's not, Angelo. It's not.
It's okay. I'm just looking forward to the plastered hand wraps and the dipped in radiator fluid gloves, and
it's not enough.
Yeah, I'm waiting for all that. I'm waiting for the spiked
water. Effort. That was a gallant effort, man. Passionate. Gave me goosebumps, bro. Yeah. Sunday we'll be sitting here with a bunch of people in here saying that we said Jake Paul's going to win this fight. But Saturday we'll be in here. People will be saying that we said Jake Paul's going to win this fight. But look, man. I don't want to stay on it too long because you guys know the timeline. And I want to talk about the other things going on in that card. I mean, we got other fights on the card. And I think, to me personally, as a boxing fan now, getting back to just the boxing of the reality of boxing is there's two females that may be the most anticipated female boxing match that could be made in women's boxing today, right? And I'm including Clarissa Shields in the conversation and all of them. This fight here that is in the stars at this point, and I think Jake Paul, MVP, made a it don't matter. That Jake Paul signed this fighter in Caroline Dubois, right? Younger sister to Daniel Dubois, right? And Alicia Baumgardner being on the same card. There's no coincidence as to the significance is why these ladies are on the same card. Let's speak to it. At the end of the day, this fight needs to be made, and both these ladies are fighting on this card. How do you guys feel about that little bit of tension, that little bit of an exchange that happened at yesterday's press conference where Caroline Dubois spoke to the elephant room? To me, it seemed like Alicia Baumgardner would have rather not speak to that. It seems like she wanted to stay, focused on the fighter that was in front of her. But shout out to the great reporters and journalists that were in the building that weren't going to just look at this pink elephant in the room and not talk about it. Right. Right. I mean, like, not for nothing, salute everybody here, but there's a big old pink elephant it's pink and it's big and it's in the court. Is anybody going to talk about that? So can anybody what did you guys think about that moment?
First of all, we absolutely love and support women's boxing, right? Women's boxing is it's so great. It's one of the things we praise Jake Paul for all the time, is that he's giving an actual mainstream platform for women to not only get paid, but to be respected in the sport of boxing that for so long down the line, man, I don't remember PBC. I won't say Al Heyman. PBC. I don't remember PBC really supporting women's boxing or trying to give a space for it. I don't remember Showtime really trying to push it out, right? I know that HBO Boxing for the longest time was totally against it. They were not like trying to promote it as anything because this was a very male-dominated sport. And in the meantime, there are so many fighters from the past, Clay, of women that they're making movies of now, right? But women who carved the way for everyone to know that this is a sport like any other sport, and women's boxing was actually involved in the Olympics in 1904, right? Like, this is like women's boxing is a thing. And now we're at a point where we're seeing superstars emerge in front of our eyes, like a Gabriela Fundura, who's only 23 years old, right? Or a TMA Ayton, who just fought yesterday. She's 4-0 with 4 knockouts. that girl just turned 19 and she's going to be the next big superstar. Or Fran Hennessy. Like, there's a lot of these little youngsters, like teenagers to young 20-year-olds. And to your point, Clay, yesterday, everyone got introduced to the great Caroline Dubois, the sister of Daniel Dubois, who I will argue and say she might actually be the better boxer in the family. She might be better than Daniel. Like, technically speaking, like actual like technique and style.
I would like to say this right on that, because I love that you're talking about that, because I've put some real thought into that. And I think what it is I think that, because I've always said Daniel Dubois is an athletic heavyweight. People don't see it that way because of the way he kind of carries himself in the ring. But if you ever seen him training, like, this dude is like doing gymnastics. Like, he's a very athletic person, but it doesn't translate into that because he's such a big puncher that he focuses more on that when he's inside of the ring. I think he has a higher pedigree than people understand, but Daniel's kind of, some people try to say he may be on a spectrum. I don't know that to be true or not true, but he does seem to be OTM, one track minded, about the way he approaches it. And it seems like Caroline is a little bit more of a thinker, a little bit more cerebral, and she brings that pedigree into the ring, and you see it more, right? So not that Daniel can't, because he's been boxing ever since he was younger, but he just really has a hard time getting off of that one track minded. And Caroline seems to be the more balanced mental and physical version of the Dubois boxer inside the ring. I'll let you get it back.
Right. No. And again, this is where we would like for you, if you're listening to us on a replay, if you're listening to us live, if you're on the chat, if you have not fairly, truly given women's boxing a chance, go give it a chance. Because the argument has always been for like men's basketball and women's basketball. If you're against women's basketball, is, like Dave Chappelle's made a joke about it, right? Like, where in men's basketball, you see the dunks and the explosion and blah, blah, blah. And if you love the purity of basketball, you would then understand that women's basketball is fun to watch because there is an excitement to it and the plays and the runs and the whole bit. But in boxing, here's the difference. They all get knocked out. In women's boxing, I can argue to say that's some of the more exciting knockouts we've seen this year too, right? So, because it's all the same, man. They're all still getting hit. They're still getting hit. And some of the and there are people who have argued that women's boxing is more entertaining because they throw more punches and they're willing to take more hits and blah, blah, blah. So we talk about this because you could see that the most valuable promotions in Nikita Bedarian and Jake Paul has given a massive stage to women's boxing. What's the first domino of this? They, as the co-main event, they put Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano on the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul undercard, to which so many people watched it. So many people fell in love with it, including Netflix, that Netflix decided to give a budget so that over 6 million people in the U.S. got to watch a live all-women's boxing card in Netflix in July, right? Yep. Like it or hate it, the fact that Netflix is willing to give that money to give a stage versus giving that money to someone, like a Tank Davis, tells you all you need to know. There is a massive interest in women's sports. Like it or lump it. Doesn't matter. If you're not the audience, that's fine. But if you are the audience, all that's happening is Netflix is giving a stage to them. And now what's happening? The co-main event is a 12-round, 3-minute match between Alicia Baumgardner and the challenger. The WBC isn't involved because the WBC disagrees with 3-minute women boxing matches. But another line in the sand got moved now. That the WBO is accepting it. The WBA is accepting it. I believe the IBF is accepting it, right? And I think this is for a Ring magazine also. The 3-minute rounds. If you're into just combat sports in general, one of the most popular athletes that was talked about in the last 10 years is a woman by the name of Ronda Rousey. And what was Ronda Rousey known for? Beating people's asses in the octagon, right? And she made it mainstream popular. boxing never even really got a chance because they weren't putting women in a stage. And now Netflix is giving them a chance to where we just got to watch Taylor Serrano 3, right? Now we're going to get to see an Alicia Baumgardner get the star. So what's the next iteration of this, Clay? The next iteration is, let's not just introduce you to Alicia Baumgardner, who's American. Let's introduce you to one of the best boxers in the whole world right now. Her name is Caroline Dubois. She comes from a boxing family. She's only 24 years old. She's 11-0 with, I think, 7 knockouts or something like that, right? And let's introduce you to America, right? And and to your original question, Clay, because I don't want to seem like I'm yelling at the chat or whatnot, right? You're asking, what did I think of it? I love the fact that Caroline Dubois came in here and was like, this is a London invasion, or this is a UK invasion. And you think you're badass, and that's great. But everybody's got eyes. They're going to get a chance to watch me fight. They're going to get a chance to watch you fight Alicia Baumgardner. And I think we'll figure out who everyone will say is the better boxer.
Yeah, people don't get to pick sides. And I love that Carolyn set that narrative out there and just set the stage to be like, yeah, when you're watching her, think about me. When you're watching me, think about her. And when you're done watching both of us, put us in the ring with each other so we can really give you the answer that you want.
Right.
And I think there's a part of Caroline Dubois who kind of feels like she's been chasing down Alicia Baumgardner, right? And it's like, you kind of been able to kind of get around this conversation about me because I've been over there on the other pond, and you can say I'm not fighting the kind of competition you're fighting. And, you were able to get these titles and unify and become, undisputed at one point in time. And, here I am with my little 11 wins, 5 KOs, 0 losses, barking up the wrong tree, right? I'm howling at the moon. It would look like it is, but the reality is we're right here on the same stage. Your promoter who signed you and told you that you're going to be the face of women's boxing brought somebody else in who has a legitimate argument to that throne that you're seem like you're getting comfortable sitting on, but we all know you didn't really earn it all the way because I'm the ultimate litmus test for you. I am the real deal arch nemesis that you've been ducking. You've been getting these fights, and now you're doing something even better. You're ushering in you're putting your name in the history books, and you're going to do a 12-round fight, 3-minute rounds for women, because more than likely that's what we're going to do. You know what I'm saying? When we fight each other. So I want everybody in the building to take a moment and watch this for what it really is. It's not about her opponent, and it's not about my opponent. It's about me and her. And Jake Paul co-signed that by screaming into the microphone, let's get it. Get the paperwork. Let's get it done. Yeah, that was by design. That wasn't by accident. That was by design. And I'm all for it. And once again, like you said, Reyes, that's why we appreciate Jake Paul, not for fighting Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, no. And Ray, I know you love really good fighters who like to bang, right? Like they really like to throw hands, throw combos, right? Caroline Dubois is every bit of that.
Yeah,
that's why she has such a big fan base, because she throws 4-6 punch combos. She throws to the body. Her base is low. She knows how to work the jab. I mean, I'm sorry, Alicia, look, girl, that's awesome. You're the undisputed 130. Caroline Dubois is younger than you.
Yeah.
She's bigger than you. She's stronger than you.
Caroline Dubois, and shout out to Alicia Baumgardner, because she's part of the evolution of women's boxing, right? What you're looking at in Alicia Baumgardner is a lifetime combat sport trained woman boxer. She's been doing this since 7, 8, 9 years old. This is what you're seeing. Whereas like Christy Martin back in the day and Layla and all them, they kind of were like the you know what I mean? They kind of were like they weren't trained, they weren't bred for this. They just picked it up and it was theirs. Obviously Layla had the history with her father, obviously, and Christy Martin had her history, but Alicia Baumgardner and Caroline Dubois to me represent an evolution in female boxing, right? And this is the evolution. Also, Clarissa Shields, too, I want to say, also represented that as well. Trained from young, had purpose put on them at a young age to be what they are today. And now with this 12 rounds, 3-minute rounds things, it's more evolution coming into the female boxing space. And I don't think it gets any better than these two ladies getting in the ring and getting it all squared up, because they're both cut from the same cloth. It's just one of them is better than the other one. And the only way we're going to be able to figure that out is inside the ring.
I think
if it ever happens, hopefully, right?
It'll happen. I'm convinced. I'm praying on it. I'm being optimistic, and I think it happens.
First of all, we got to remember that there's a division between them. That's just fine. Yep. That's just fine. But we have to see. I think Alicia wants to clear out the division. I don't believe she's ducking any smoke. And I believe Alicia is the most overrated, hated, next to Clarissa Shields, women's boxer in boxing.
Alicia?
I believe that they try to put her up. Like, we like her. We think she's a good boxer. Yeah. She stood her ground. Excuse me.
Yeah.
But she get to a point where people they think she's overrated. They think that she's somebody that she's not. They think, oh, well, she did a bet. She had a drug test that she failed, and and she hasn't been the same since. And there's so many things out there, right? But she's been, as Clay said, she's pedigreed. And I don't think she's afraid of anybody. And I think the funny part is a lot of people feel that she's afraid of this girl at lightweight named Miss
is it fear? Because I don't think fear is fair.
I don't think she's afraid more than
intimidation, though.
Intimidation.
I'm going to tell you why. Because when you're game, and we just seen this in a couple of fights, right? When you're game for a fight, sometimes sitting there quiet and letting people have all these thoughts and all these things about you run its mill, and then when the time comes, bow. Okay, now what? Okay, now we're in reality, young lady. Don't forget you're younger than me. Don't forget I came up to you. I'm coming to show you that I'm really better than you. I'm really that. No, I'm not going to say it, but she really that BIT. We'll stop there. And she comes to show you. You know what I mean? And when she comes to show you, I think too many of them. I think Alicia Baumgardner will be. I know, right? I think she will show you, and I think like she was on the path of fighting Amanda Serrano, right? That was something they were looking to do.
Yeah, they were trying
to. And I think they were moving her up to that division. So this is nothing but perfect timing to have them meet, because she was going to try to get to 140 eventually. This is nothing more than just having them meet. And this is Caroline wants that smoke. She's begging for this fight, and sometimes when you bite off more than you can chew, you end up on the bottom of that gum.
You think Caroline's biting off more than she can chew?
I think so. I personally believe so. I believe she's very much so. I think experience matters. I'm not saying that she doesn't have been in the big lights. I'm not saying she's not a great boxer. She absolutely is. But I think when it comes time to time, hand to hand.
So you believe Alicia Baumgardner is like that much more experience than Caroline?
Yeah, I mean, what, 5 fights, 6 fights? Yeah.
Caroline Dubois got 11 fights. Alicia Baumgardner's got
17.
Let me make sure. 18 fights. So, I think that what Ray's trying to say, Clay, is that if you look at the resume of the people that Alicia has fought to get up to this point, they are a much higher resume level than what Caroline has done to get up to her point of becoming the WBC 130.
And I'm going to give you a hard case scenario of reality. This just happened to last month, November, and everyone writing off the smaller guy moving up. Everybody writing off the guy that moved around the ring, didn't have punching power, didn't do this, didn't do that, but a guy that put a guy out for 2 weeks in the coma, and he was a rising star. And everybody's like, he's younger, he's better, he's stronger, he's faster, he's this guy. And as soon as that bubble got popped, we were like, damn, that guy's really him. This guy has actually surprised me. This guy, no wonder why this guy was avoided. Oh, we seen what we seen in sparring. We heard Clay say that, right? So now I'm putting it on the same onus of for Alicia. She's been with Tony Harrison for a long time. She sparred Clarissa Shields, which sparks me to say, we never seen any of that footage. But for a little girl that sparred Clarissa Shields, she talks a lot of crap like, yo, you know me, right? So is she really her? Is she really that, you know what I mean? That dime that we think that she is? She's very well may possibly be. I'm not writing off Caroline Dubois, excuse me. I think she's significant in the space. I think she is a great champion. And I think she can, at any chance, beat or even showcase Alicia Baumgardner and beat her. Yes, absolutely. It's everything's a possibility. This is just my thoughts, but I think the better fighter and the more experience and the big lights and resume speaks for itself. Alicia Baumgardner has a lot more going for her, and she's ready to rise to that occasion and improve herself in that ring.
Yeah, no, and Clay, I think that this is, again, we're covering it for sure, but the more people start to pay attention to the fact that they're now giving a stage to all these amazing women athletes who are boxing, the more they'll understand that the pool is deep, man.
Yeah.
The pool, like I'm telling you, just yesterday on DAZN, they showed a 19-year-old who was fighting for the 4th time in her pro career this year, getting her 4th knockout. And this girl has 300 amateur fights, was a kickboxing world champion too. Like, these women athletes they're out there, man, in the fight sports world. And now that they're getting a stage for boxing, you might see less of them go into MMA and more of them gravitate towards boxing. And it is because of a company like Most Valuable Promotions giving them a global stage. And Alicia, like her or hate her for what she said in the small niche community that was talking about Alicia, right, Claymore?
Right.
Now that she's getting a mainstream, like she's being shown, like, pay attention to the storytelling that they're doing about Alicia Baumgardner.
Man.
You don't think that a year from now, Alicia is not going to be one of the bigger names? I think that's what we're waiting. That's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for Alicia to be a big enough name that a Carolyn Dubois versus Alicia Baumgardner can actually make sense. Can it happen right away? That's the part what Ray's speaking to, is that Carolyn Dubois may need to up her resume more, right, along with her popularity in order for it to make sense.
Yeah, I get it. And I think Carolyn Dubois is a great boxer. I mean, she comes from a pedigree. You see her brother, right? But hold on, I just watched his card. We got Shanika Johnson on his card.
Yeah. No, we'll talk about that too. That's
right now.
Yeah.
No, this is a women's showcase, and MVP has the lion's share of the real talent, and they're going to use this opportunity to put their best product forward.
Silva and Tyrone Woodley fighting on this card.
Well,
I mean,
that's actually that's the fight that I'm least interested in.
Right.
I'm more interested in.
No, I'm just looking at the card. I'm just like, damn, I ain't know all these people on this card. I'm just looking at names, man. Like, I got it. I hear you. But my favorite of all time is on here. Though she lost, though she doesn't have a belt, but she is so. Where's my wife? She not here. She is so fine. The Costa Rican princess herself. Go ahead, Angelo.
Yeah. Yes, we know you love Valle. We get it. We get it. Right? Yeah. Valle is fighting. Is she on the main card portion? Do you know? Is Valle fighting on the main card? Does it say?
Yeah. She's main card. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Valle is also fighting on this stage. I think, is she defending her title? I think she's defending her title.
No. I don't think she has a title anymore. I think her sister has a title.
I thought she was the WBC strawweight champion. I'm gonna have to fact check it now. Hold on.
ABS is on here too. ABS Griffin's gonna be on this card too.
HLD, you know it, HLD.
And I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this. Is this who I think it is? Hold on. Not Keno. No, Keno Marley is the other. Who's the young Jamal Harvey? I'm really trying to see.
Jamal Harvey's one of the Hackett's friends. 130 pounds, I think. He's fighting. Yeah. He's on the Netflix opener. So the YouTube portion, I think, is the one that has Yokasta Valle on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if it's for the world title.
It don't matter. I'm watching. You best believe. As soon as I hear that name,
you crazy, right? You're crazy.
Listen, she better than round 10, bro.
Well, I at least you guys know that Ray Davis likes 5'4", 110 pounds.
Come on, man. You ain't got to shout me out like that. That's messed up, Angelo. I just said she pretty. Listen, they all pretty women. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'll do my S.A. Smith conversation and be like, oh, you know now. You know they all fine. I'm not doing that. I ain't got a hairline like that guy, bro. I cut it off.
Now, in all seriousness, though, what's great about the Valle fight is they don't do mismatches. So the person she's fighting, unless it's changed, Yadira Bustillos, she's only got the one loss, man. She's 25 years old. Very good boxer. Her last fight, she got a 7th round TKO against DeMarco, I think. So it'll be a good fight, Ray. It'll be a good fight either way. That
she can box though. She will be a good fight. She can box. She can fight.
Right.
Yo, she got her OnlyFans too.
It's definitely going to be it's definitely going to be an evening showcase. A lot of female fighters on there, and a young Jamal Harvey is also going to be on there. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do because I'm hearing a lot of high praise.
I'm only saying that because she came out that one time with the paint.
Yeah, but looking forward to see a lot of the up and coming talent. Female fighters, and like I said with Jamal Harvey, I'm looking to see what it is about him because he gets a lot of high praise, man. And 130, 135, that conversation. You got a lot of young bulls coming up in that space. And, the Zaquin Moseses and the Camaro Moultons and these young bulls that are moving the needle. In those weight divisions, you got to think these guys are going to be moving up with each other, and they're going to be seeing each other on their journey. So that's just the next generation of a fighter. You know what I'm saying? That's coming up at the same time. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward.
Real quick, Ray. Real quick, Clay. Sorry. Can you guys please press the like buttons, man?
Yeah.
Y'all hit the like button.
50 people watching it at one point,
exactly.
And I'm like, where are all the likes?
Yeah,
what is going on?
You start talking about Carolyn Dubois, and it was like, nah. Then I said volley, and then it went up.
Yeah, everybody hit the like button. Stop playing games. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. All that good stuff. You know what I mean?
It's free, man.
You don't give me instructions.
Support the channel. We bring you this for a reason, man. And Angel's the only guy to keep me quiet up here, bro. So y'all gotta hit the like button for that.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it is what it is, man. Last night's show, actually. Was it last night?
Yeah, last night we did the Terrence Crawford goodbye show, which was
man, and that was fun. I was on DHS last night talking about it. You got so many people, so many detractors. You know what I mean? And I was trying to explain to people. I ended up having put some people on blast a little bit, but just at the end of the day, just the credibility of the space has gone to the side, man. And of course, a fighter like Terrence Crawford is going to retire, bro, because.
Right.
What's the use? I'm getting this money. I already did what I got to do, man. And there's no real respect in the game. So we're gonna move on and do our thing. And if we come back, we'll come back when we feel like it. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And it's interesting you say that too, Clay, because I believe that the fans of sports are so moved from reality, from accepting the sport and the person being in the ring as a competitor, that it's just all disrespect. I remember growing up, I'm going to move sports for a second, watching Michael Jordan play. One of my favorite basketball player. I will say that. But I watched him play against Isaiah Thomas. I watched him play against Magic Johnson. I watched him play. I'm going to say some people that you guys don't even know. Rolando Blackman. I mean, you guys know. Some people may not know, right? You know what I mean? I remember him playing against Tom Chambers and Mark Echo and, you know what I mean, the dude, Bradley, right, from
Mark
Cleveland.
Price.
Mark Price. Listen, when I tell you that I watched these guys play, and I watched, and I gave them all their flowers because they were all great players, all the way up to Shaquille O'Neal when it started changing, right? All that started changing. Shaquille O'Neal, Alvin Iverson. Once that kind of that line changed where it became a one-person show. No longer about the league, it was and the best guys in the league, about one person being the best player in that league, and we represent only that player. That's when it started going crazy, right? It's no longer the same. and it transcended to all sports where you got people that don't care about the team. They care about the player on their favorite team, and that's all they care about. Boxing's the same way. We've gotten away from loving the sport, seeing the Hagler Leonard in the ring and appreciating it, seeing Tommy Hearns and Hagler and or Leonard and Hearns in the ring and appreciating it. We got away from that. And I think what Terrence Crawford has done is he brought some of that magic back. He brought a lot of that to boxing with Sean Porter, Victor Postal, Earl Spence, Canelo Alvarez. You know, yes, there's some bumps and bruises that we didn't know, and people that we were assuming that okay, he may have been better. He ducked this guy, he didn't get the Keith Thurman fight, whatever. But the point of the matter is, he fought who he fought, and a lot of those guys were top 5, top 3, top 2 opponent, 1 and 2 opponents across from him, and he showed that he was the best. And if we can't put respect on his name, that just says a lot to the boxing space and how much hate that we have because we don't appreciate boxing and we really just worship fighters for who they are, and we just moved everything else out the way. So that's just something to think and ponder about.
Yeah. I don't want to go left, but I want to talk about did you guys hear about Schofield asking for $10 million to fight Abdullah Mason?
Yes. I'm glad
not hear this garbage, bro. I don't be paying attention to it. Tell me what happened.
It's boxing, Reyes. It's boxing, baby. And that's a fight that the space would love to
bro
see.
that asked for 10 million, or was it the kid that asked for 10 million?
No, it was definitely the weave wearing guy. I'm not gonna leave it there. But it's just the fact that his dad says, first of all, he went this whole spew, and Clay, you can bear on how he's a better father than Bill Haney and more real and more street, and then went to sideways. Well, if I ever fight Abdullah Mason, they got to pay me $10 million. They just offered you $5 million for a fight, and you turned it down. So
no, they offered him $1 million. They offered him
$1 million. I'm sorry, $1 million, right? You turned it down, and then you went and took a $5 million fight.
Not $5 million
contract
for 5 years,
for 5 years, which is crazy. And you could have got that, and if you would have won, imagine where you would be right now if you won that fight. Right, you'd have been on a different playing field. You probably had to fight this dude, Sam Noakes. You would probably fight Sam Noakes for the title instead of Abdullah Mason. But
I don't think he could beat Sam Noakes, bro.
Oh, hell no, he won't beat Sam Noakes. I'm sorry. Let me keep it real. You heard me say, hell no, and I'm so confident in saying Sam Noakes will beat the brakes and the damn. What did he say? He got a Lobo forehead. Whatever. He'll beat the shit out of that thing in, bro. He'll beat the lobe in his forehead back. I promise you. Matter of fact, he'll beat his hairline back that his dad will feel it. So, don't. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous what they're doing to the sport. And again, this is the I want to be popular notion over I want to be a fighter notion. Your son is sitting. He ducked or I ain't going to use the word duck, but he set out 3 fights. He canceled 3 fights to do what? He fought a guy that was, you know what I mean, punch drunk by a fight that he had twice against Zepeda, where he threw a whole bunch of punches. So I believe if he had fought that fight before Zepeda, he probably had a better chance of winning. Whatever. Anyway, I ain't gonna say his name. I'm so
look. I'll bring it all the way back to what's happening tomorrow, man. Most valuable promotion.
Frustrated with these people, bro.
You know what I will say about that crazy ass Schofield statement, wherever it came from, is, everything's about to change in a couple of weeks. Zuffa Boxing is going to show up. The whole market's changing. Terrence Crawford was the first domino to do it because Terrence Crawford is working very closely with Turki Al-Sheikh. And we talked about this last night. He'll be working closely with Nick Khan and Dana White. Also, I don't think it was an accident that Terrence Crawford sat there and said, F you, WBC. Fighters shouldn't be paying sanctioning bodies. And now you got Shakur saying the same type of stuff. And Keyshawn Davis saying the same type of stuff. And there's definitely a movement happening. And if you guys want to go to Terrence Bud Crawford's YouTube and you watch that beautiful kind of mini documentary of him saying goodbye and thank you to everyone for his career, at the very end, what does he say? He says, this is just the beginning of a new fight, right? So what fight could Terrence Crawford be talking about? I'm going to let you in on a little secret, Schofield. People like you will no longer get to ask for $10 million. That's the fight that he's talking about. He's talking about the market will set itself up. The people will have the right to basically support who they want to support. And that's going to be based upon who's being shown on TV. That pay-per-view model that's been paying those crazy amounts, that's gone. That's going away, right? What's going to happen more and more is you could either go sign up with a company that's going to be showcasing you in the United States of America to millions of viewers, or you could take your chances and try to sell your own pay-per-view fighting a bunch of other people that no one really wants to see you fight. So yeah, man, Abdullah Mason, lucky that good for him that he is a Riyadh season representative, meaning that he'll still be on that whole Turkey, Keyshawn Davis, all of these guys. So the two best moves for Schofield, if he actually wants to continue in the sport of boxing at 22 or 23 years old right now, he could either A, go call Dana White and ask Uncle Dana for a contract, or B, go ahead and go to Eddie Hearn or MVP, most valuable promotions. Because whatever you're doing right now, man, that ain't working. If you somehow think Oscar De La Hoya can get you the bag, that ain't going to happen.
I think the whole Schofield situation is very interesting because I always say it's interesting because I'm such a fan of Schofield Jr. I really think he's a great fighter, boxer. I think he has a lot of potential. I think he has a great personality. I think if we can get more of him talking and being, if we could just get him on a stage platform to where he's just kind of like being his own man, I think it would do a lot of great things for him. But unfortunately, and that's a beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But from the seat I have in the house, unfortunately, aesthetically, it's a horrible look. As the father continues to get into these conversations that makes honestly the brand obnoxious. It's nauseating at times to watch the nonsense that comes together, and it adds up to nothing. That's the worst thing about it. It doesn't turn into a fight. It turns into some nonsense. I think since the Shakur Stevenson situation, it's been a downhill hype job. It's almost like an overinflated fake idea of grandeur that the Schofields have. Being that their last fight they had a moment and an opportunity to move off that momentum with Tevin Farmer, but it went nowhere, right? And this last fight that was supposed to happen with Jojo Diaz was a fight that made no sense to me when it got announced, and the fact that it made no sense and then that it didn't happen just added, salt into the wound. Because why? Because the fight didn't happen. You came off of a great knockout performance on Tevin Farmer, but that wasn't a test. That was what happens in boxing. You clipped him early, got him off his equilibrium, and he wasn't able to recover. We didn't get to see you tested. We didn't get to see Tevin Farmer test you in a way for us to know as to whether or not you had, that you had
evolved,
announced yourself, as one of the up and coming guys. And Jojo Diaz wasn't going to necessarily do it for me either, but at least there was going to be some activity building up and a momentum building up behind that to make us expect more things from you. But now without that fight happening, now you're just inactive and you're still talking. So it's just nauseating at this point because you're not fighting and you're doing this other thing, and it's horrible, right? And then you got Oscar De La Hoya with his clapback Thursdays trying to tear down what Zuffa's doing, which is adorable, but I don't see Oscar De La Hoya is not somebody like just watching the way he's carrying it with this Virgil Ortiz, Jerron Boots, and his situation. And he just doesn't seem to be a willing participant in bringing back American boxing. He's not in the conversation in the right way to build back American boxing by putting together his best foot forward on being part of making the biggest fights possible. He seems to be it's a lot of energy coming over on that side of the field, whether it's from the Schofield team or Oscar De La Hoya, that just making it to where it's not adding up to nothing of sustenance. There's nothing happening. There's no fights happening, just talking. And you're calling out Shakur Stevenson and saying you want this fight, and you're trying to dictate the terms and say it needs to be in San Antonio. It's like, what do you bring to the table? Why does anybody need to be fighting you in your backyard? you played games in Saudi Arabia. You blamed a bunch of people, said it was foul play. The whole buildup to that fight was awkward. It was nauseating. It was just an awkward buildup with all the nonsense that you had going on with the arrest and your home being raided. And you got videos coming out of you beating on women. I mean, it's just a whole it's really not a good look. And I think your son would just benefit so much off of a little bit more humility, some quietness, and get a fight penned out. Fight somebody and continue to fight and fight and win and be a champion and do all those great things so that we can be a fan. But instead, you troll us with your nonsense. Even though you've been called out about it, people calling you Auntie Schofield and all those different things, you just double down. And I don't believe it's needed. I just don't believe it's needed. So it just seems like an ego thing with you that you can't help yourself and you have to be looked at a certain way. Junior,
he said it.
Junior could just benefit off of just being active.
Yep.
And I'm nervous for you guys. I'll be honest with you, because as we're watching Golden Boy go through whatever they're going through, rumors are circulating that obviously the renewals to your contracts coming up in the summer, and the rumor is that DAZN is not as interested in renewing the contract as they were in past years. Because why? Because you guys are resistant to putting together the best fights. Your cards are not all of that. So where are you going to go now? Now Top Rank is in limbo right now, playing around with Tubi and trying to figure out where they're going to end up being at.
We still don't know where the Xander Zayas fight is, and that's a unification. Like, what does that tell you? Right? You got a unification fight between Abbas Baru, the WBA champ, against Xander Zayas, the WBO champ, at 154 pounds, which we could easily say is probably the hardest division right now, right? It's the most competitive, with the most talent and young champions. And we don't even know which TV it's going to be in. Right. And you're somehow telling me Zuffa Boxing is not going to work? Man, y'all are tripping. All right? Top Rank better figure this out real quick.
Let me just land this plane real quick and just say this, right? To say that in the midst of all of this happening, what's needed is the best fights possible that you can put together to put them out. That's my whole point, right? That in the midst of all this happening, you guys are playing games, and that's sickening. It's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? That American boxing is in a very sensitive place right now. And as much crying as you guys do about what Zuffa Box is bringing to the table, you would think you would compete. You think that's would be your instinct, to compete, put together big fights, put together things that are going to show the American boxing space that you're the blueprint. Don't forget where this came from. But instead, you're giving us your ass to kiss with a whole lot of smoke, but no fire. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of smoke with no fire.
Look, man, Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis is right there for the making. What's taking so long? What's the problem, Clay?
Make the fight happen.
Explain it to me. What's the problem?
The man came to your city, into the ring after your fight. Y'all had this face off. I've heard Virgil speak on it and say he wants that fight next. I know Boots wants that fight next. Eddie Hearn has been publicly saying we want the fight next. There's only one person who's been talking shaky in this whole entire situation, and it's Oscar De La Hoya, period. And a little bit of the management of Virgil Ortiz is also kind of speaking on some like, yo, we got options. That conversation, that talk, right?
That's money.
The fight is not happening because the Golden Boy side of the fight, the management side of the fight, is playing games, and you're doing a whole lot of energy focusing on tearing down Dana White, but you're not putting enough energy into giving us, the fans, what we need so we can make the decision that may or may not benefit you. Because right now, we are not excited about what Golden Boy got coming in 2026. Not even a little bit. I don't even know what you guys got going on. I'm not even thinking about you guys right now. Is that my fault? Am I being a hater, or are you not doing your job and selling me anything? At least Matchroom is delivering. They're like, yo, we going crazy in 2026. We bringing Navarrete and fucking Eduardo Nunez. We're bringing, you know what I'm saying? We're bringing.
They got Bachram versus Kelly. They got, even Frank Warren. How's Frank Warren already got Nick Ball fighting Brandon Figueroa and Javier Herrera?
Eddie's dealing with it, right? Eddie's responding to Dana White with, motherfucker, we got cards. You better hope your cards.
We got a lot of them. Is what he's saying. Yeah.
Like, we got cards,
the way Eddie responded is, that's great, Zuffa. You got one boxing event in January. I got 8.
on paper already, and please believe we're adding to it. So yeah, we're all looking forward to January 23rd. I'll be there. I want to see, but what do you do the day after that? Because I know what I'm doing the day after that. But I got the whole space looking forward to what we got going on. So step it up, and I'm sure Dana's sitting there like, no problem, brother. Well, trust me, we're coming to and see you next year. But that's what it's all about.
Yeah, Dana's answer. Yeah, Dana's answer is no, I got you, Eddie. It's just that I'm busy, with the UFC and we got WWE going on.
But I see you work. Right. I see you work. And Eddie's like, no doubt. That's exactly what we're doing. We are working. Right. Don't tell me what to do, bro. Don't tell me what to do.
At the end of the day,
we're working. This is competitive. We might get into a fight, fuck around, and we bump into each other in the wrong place. We might fight because I'm not going out like that. I'm not letting you just come in here and take boxing from me, bro. Period.
Right.
Where's that fire, Oscar? Because this.
Whoa! Don't do that again. Don't do that again. Don't do that. There you did it again. Oh,
that's not a fight. That's not fighting for boxing. That doesn't impress us. That doesn't do nothing for us, Oscar. What's the card? What did Schofield say on the snippet? Put on the fight.
Oh my God.
And we didn't even want to go left. The title of the show is about us talking tomorrow.
It's about boxing at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's what it's about. It's about the fight game, and we're coming to the end of the year, bro. Today is the 18th, bro. We about here. And and we're excited and passionate about what the sport is going to be doing in 2026. But I brought up the whole Schofield situation because at the end of the day, Schofield Jr. is a fighter who I think has a lot of promise. Right. But I don't think that promise is what he's doing outside the ring. It's about what he's doing inside the ring, and we don't see it.
And again, to bring it back full circle with Terrence Crawford, act like Terrence Crawford, Schofield. Act like Terrence Crawford. All right, like what? That's the blueprint right there. Okay, be humble. Go do your job. Fight everybody.
This is what we need to do. We need to stop trying to level up ourselves and let our kids be the athletes, man. Let them be the stars. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not asked to do what, and it's funny because HLD was like, he does the same thing as Bill Haney. You're not asked to do the same thing as Bill Haney. Bill Haney is the spokesman. He is the manager and the trainer. He's the guy that's the voice and mouthpiece because Devin's always training. He does his life. Bill's put out there in media for a reason. He's not having Devin next to him on camera. And when Devin does an interview, he does his own interviews.
And Bill is building fights.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Bill is out here like Rolly, holla at me. Lewis Crocker, next. Ryan, he's talking fights. Brian Norman, that's what's up. That's what his conversation is. It might be annoying to you. You might not want to hear him, but that's how he talks. He's not talking like these guys are talking. He's talking about, and he's making fights.
Right.
Come on, got this guy. Be like Bill for real.
Yeah, this guy talking about how tough he is. I'm like, bro, what do we care about your history and how you been? Why do I care about that? This is not about the sport, bro. And I'm like, no, stay true to the sport. Your son is looking for a fight. You want to fight? Call out somebody. Let's make the fight happen. Talk to Oscar. Matter of fact, you like, yo, I just talked to Oscar. This and that. You don't do that. All you do is talk about how your freaking locks just got twisted back up, how you freaking did this and you did that, and nobody cares about that personal shit. And Shakur ran from you in the street because you seen him at the corner store and he was buying a bag of Doritos and you said Shakur and he ran. He was like, oh, that we don't care about that story, bro. Like, stop it. We got to keep it real here. Yo, let's just stay. Hey, listen, my son's looking for a fight. We're looking maybe at the WBA. You know what I mean? We're trying to see what they're going to do. Maybe Tank drops the belt. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe we just go fight him for the belt if it's available. That's what we're trying to do. We're pushing for the fight. We've been behind the scenes doing it. Talk boxing. Let's get rid of all the nonsense and the buffoonery, because all I hear is how you compare yourself to big people in the sport and how you always say you're better than anybody in the sport, and your son hasn't done nothing yet. All we've seen him do is lay in a hospital bed on a fake set. We don't even know where that. I don't even think they had those sets in Saudi Arabia. They must have brought somebody with them. Number one. Number two.
Are you trying to say it was scripted, Ray?
Man, listen, man. This dude's been ducking smoke for a long time, man. Let's not forget about the other time he ducked smoke before Shakur. See, we forgot about that one, didn't we? No? Anybody remember that one?
Yes.
Who was the guy he ducked in that one?
Well, I thought he definitely
Lucas Body.
Right.
You know what I mean? He ducked the
Right.
smoke there. Oh, I can't fight on this card. Remember he's supposed to fight H2O?
Yeah, he said he had like an injury or something.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
Constantly ducking the smoke, bro. This he's been a runaround fool. And I hate to be disrespectful to this dude, man, but I'm just so done with them, bro. And it's crazy because I like the fighter. The dad needs to move out the way. You know what I mean? Stop trying to take advantage of your kids' finances and stuff like that. And let him live, man. And I think everyone in this space is talking about the same thing. And I don't care if you know what I mean? Like, if that's your relationship, that's your thing. I don't really want to tell you how to live your life, but let that man be a man. At the end of the day, let him be a man. Unless he has some type of issues where he can't think or say things, let him be a man. Stop jumping in there. The dude's holding the baby, and you doing all the talking over here about. I'm like, bro, you got a whole generation right there. Why are you talking about what you did and how you've been arrested and this guy in front of you making a comparison to another man?
I mean, I believe at the end of the day, the idea is that, shout out to what HLD said, because that's the truth, right? We're talking about Senior and this kid, and it's working. Yeah, it is working until it's not, right? Because it's working right now where there's a foundation that you can work off of right now, and you can take this momentum into something and shut us up, right? You can put together a big fight. We'll watch it. We'll talk about it. We might not, be big fans of yours, but we'll talk about it because we like Junior and it could work out. But if you're doing all of this and it doesn't add up and turn into something, eventually it curdles. You know what I'm saying? It curdles on you. It goes the other way on you that quickly. So there's a lot of things in motion for 2026. It's a big year for everybody in boxing, man. Like I said, rumor is, and I don't even think it's a rumor at this point, Golden Boy and DAZN are going to be revisiting terms next summer. I'm hearing that the interest isn't really there. But that obviously there's a lot of time for that to change. But I think a lot of that change is going to be based on your ability, as far as Golden Boy is concerned, to deliver something that they believe is going to benefit the zone, deliver cards, deliver fights, deliver the biggest things. And already I think the zone even getting in front of Virgil Ortiz, potentially going in another direction and saying that they wouldn't support anything but the Jerron Boots and his fight. That's already the zone, in my opinion. That's a telling sign that the zone was hearing something that they didn't want to hear, right? That was them just making it clear, like, we're hearing you're potentially trying to sabotage this fight. We're letting you know we're not supporting shit but that fight. Yep. So if you're not going to do that fight, you're risking being on the outs with us as far as how we see our relationship. So they're letting you know already they're catching wind of the nonsense. Like, they're catching wind and letting you. They didn't think if they weren't catching wind of nonsense, they'd just sit back and just let you do your job, and they wouldn't make no comments. Like, we're just excited to hear what Oscar's going to announce. But they're hearing something and they don't like what they're hearing. So they're making it clear where they stand in this conversation, because they understand boxing is moving, the needle's moving in a certain direction right now, and they don't want to be part of
forward. Is what it's doing, Clay. It's moving forward.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of which, because I know we got to close it out pretty soon. I want to bring it back to what's going on with tomorrow, but this is a boxing news type show. So the middleweight, talking about boxing moving forward, just 2 hours ago, Ring Magazine already was like, you out. Janabek is completely out of the rankings. So here is your current top 10 of the middleweight. No, they took him out. They're like, you out, which is, again, this is speaking to what I'm saying going into 2020.
Are you saying Ring Magazine, or you're just saying in general?
Ring Magazine took his ass out. They're like, you're not here anymore. So here is your brand new top 10 as of 2 hours ago. Number 1 is Carlos Adames, who is fighting Ammo Williams in the January 31st card. But number 1 is Carlos Adames. Number 2, shout out to Coach Hector Bermudez. Yoenli Hernandez. Yo-Yo Hernandez is now the Ring Magazine number 2 ranked middleweight in the world. Number 3, your boy Lara, who looked old, but Lara is number 3. Number 4, Connor Benn is still there, Ray.
Wait, we're talking about 160?
Yeah. I'm talking about.
All right. Number 5, Troy Isley. Number 6, who I've been talking about this guy for a bit, that there's a reason why people don't want to fight this dude. Etinosa Oliha. Check him out on YouTube. He's pretty good. Number 7, Aaron McKenna, which I told you, Clay, when I was saying Lima's a real challenge, or would have been a real challenge, but he wasn't. But Aaron McKenna and Lima had fought, right? So Aaron McKenna is number 7. Austin Ammo Williams fighting for the world title against Adames January 31st is number 8. Chris Eubank Jr. is number 9. And Jesus Ramos Jr., who just beat Shane Mosley Jr., is now the number 10 Ring Magazine ranked middleweight in the world. There you go.
I think the Conor Benn ranking in number 4 is way more fair than where he's ranked at at 147.
I agree.
WBC. I'm okay with number 4 being that he beat Chris Eubank.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I'll let him be there, and I have no issues with that. I think where he's at 147 is diabolical.
Right. It is what it is. And then lastly, so for tomorrow, for you guys who do want to watch the 3 women world championship fights, it's free. You don't even have to have Netflix. It's on YouTube. You could go to Most Valuable Promotions YouTube or the Netflix Sports YouTube. It's going to start at 1:45 p.m. Pacific time, 4:45 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. And let's get some predictions out there. So we know that Avius Griffin's fighting Justin Cardona. Avius Griffin lost on his last fight, so we're expecting him to win. You got Keno Marley fighting Diarra Davis Jr. But the first one, world championship fight, Ray Davis, Yokasta Valle versus Yadira Bustillos. Who do you got? Who you picking?
You know, I'm picking Valle all day.
Man, I need to know. I need it recorded.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. You only have to ask me that question.
Okay, all right, fine. Clay,
it's automatic. Even if I know you're going to lose.
On Valle versus Bustillos.
I'm just not familiar with her like that, man. I'm gonna be real with you.
Even if she's going to lose, I'm picking her.
I'm not familiar with her enough to make a decision on that. You know, when some of these like cards like this, I'm learning these fighters as I'm watching them fight. Like I'm, I ain't gonna lie,
if I show you the fight if I show you the fight she lost, Clay, you be like, darn, yeah, because I think we thought it was really close, and it was a Golden Boy card, and I think they.
Well, I mean, all you really have to know, Clay, is Sinicia Estrada at the height before she retired, she fought Valle, and a lot of us thought Valle won.
Yeah, she won that fight, bro. They robbed
her. That's the one that happened in 2024, right? So that's the one that everybody kind of points to. But you know, having said that, Ray, and I'll agree with you, smart money should go on Valle, but Bustillos, bro, is no joke. Bustillos is no joke. So you know, we'll see. That's a fun fight to watch. Again, it's free on YouTube. The next world championship fight is Shernika Sugar Neeks Johnson defending her undisputed female 118-pound title against the undefeated Canadian Amanda Gaye. Who you picking on this one, Ray Davis?
I'm sorry, I missed it. My son was just talking to me. Who we at?
Oh, Shernika Johnson.
Shernika Johnson, bro. Johnson's a beast, bro.
Are you sure you're not just saying that because
no? Listen, she's pretty cool, right?
When it comes to these women picks, man, it's kind of hard with Ray because it's like, okay,
listen, no. Listen. She just fought on that last card, right?
Yes. Right. She looked good. She looked good on the last card.
She's still the champion,
yeah,
right?
No, she looked great.
Right.
She looked good.
She looked great. She's Australian. I'm not even gonna pull up my box rec stuff. She's Australian. She, to me, looks like a fighter. Now, if anybody I'm afraid of beating up Dubois, if she moved up or any of those people, she would be one. She's got skills. And it's so weird because they all look close in size, even though I know they're bigger and smaller. They all look so close in size, you don't know. But she's a bantamweight fighter, but she's really, really talented. Like, I think she's All
right. So you're picking Neeks Johnson and has nothing to do with the way.
Bro, she can fight, bro. She can fight.
I know nobody said that.
I like what I see, man.
Bro, she can fight. I'm telling you, she can fight, bro.
No, she can. She stays behind that jab. She level changes.
Champion. I think everybody knows she can fight.
She's a better. It's so hard to compare to Sky Nicholson because Sky Nicholson fights on the back foot, but
no, because she comes forward in this fight against
she's good, bro. She's really good. Clay out here researching. He's like, y'all need to know these people, right?
No, all right.
Yeah, man. Go ahead. Next. Shernika Johnson. And Shernika Johnson.
Johnson heavy.
Listen, Listen, if I got to talk about, you writing this down, right? So if I have to talk about Vale, boy, if I had to go down under, pause, it'd be Shanika Johnson over Scott Nicholson. I promise you that. Keeping it real.
She got a good look record. I'm definitely. I got to go with Shanika too, just with the way I'm seeing what I'm seeing.
Bro, she's good.
All right. Yeah, Amanda Gaye will be a great challenge. Obviously, it's hard to pick against Sugar Neeks Johnson. Being the undisputed bantamweight champion that she is. Plus, Amanda Gaye is older than her, so obviously, I'm picking Sugar Neeks on her skill set.
She needs to address those eyebrows, bro. Those eyebrows is diabolical, bro.
Okay, but here's the crazy part: when you hear Shanika Johnson, when you hear the name Shanika Johnson,
eyebrows, bro.
Yo, when you hear the name,
she got those 101 Dalmatian eyebrows. 101 Dalmatian eyebrows.
Yo, Clay, when you hear the name Shanika Johnson, you're not thinking of what she gonna look like when you talking about her.
No, I'm just saying that. I'm talking about this girl, Amanda Gaye. I'm not talking about Shanika.
Oh no, I'm just saying. But when you hear the name, I'm saying when somebody say Shanika Johnson, you be like, oh word, I gotta go check her out.
And this girl's got 1 KO, 12 wins. She's undefeated. I mean, she's a boxer from out of Canada.
Yeah.
But I'll check her out. I'll check her out to see what what she's doing inside that ring. But I like what I saw.
All right. So last one is obviously Caroline Dubois. Dubois,
bro, stop playing with me.
Of course, he's going to say Dubois. Okay, I think all three of us are picking Dubois. Again, I don't want to make it seem like this is supposed to be easy.
No.
Camila Panata is going to come in there and give her a really, really strong challenge. So we're going to find out how much better or how good Caroline has gotten. Because remember, this was a very short notice fight. She heard about this fight 2 weeks ago. So the fact that she's been in the gym and ready to defend her world title that quickly is kudos to Caroline. So all of that will be on the free YouTube portion, either on Netflix Sports or it'll be on Most Valuable Promotions, 1:45 p.m. Pacific time, 4:45 Eastern. And then right after that, it rolls into 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. Pay your $7.99 or whatever it is to get your Netflix now. Jamal Harvey's fighting, so we know Jamal Harvey's going to win, or he should. I mean, I guess we don't know, but he should win. He's the favorite. He's the one that's being promoted.
Cervantes
should be a good challenge, but we'll find out.
Yeah, he's gonna win.
Yeah, we'll see.
Sorry, he's gonna win.
Yeah, I'm just saying he better win. Again, all respect to Anderson Silva, one of the greatest. Absolutely love him. But in a boxing match at 50 years old, fighting Tyrone Woodley, weighing 195 pounds. I mean,
who's Jamal?
I don't know. The only reason why. Oh, go ahead.
Kevin
Cervantes has got 5 wins, 5 knockouts, bro.
Yeah,
0 losses.
I know.
Yeah. It's a big fight.
I mean, anything can happen. I'm just saying, Jamal. Are you guys picking Cervantes?
No, I'm not. That's fine if you want to pick. I don't know who Cervantes is, and Jamal. I haven't seen him fight yet, but I'm not going to sit here and make a pick yet. I need to see the pedigree. I need to see what's going on out here, bro, because he's fighting. I think it's a big step up for him to get in the ring with somebody like this with one professional fight this young. Is MVP going to be under the magnifying glass for moving this kid the wrong way if he takes a loss? Did he have to get in the ring with somebody who's 5 wins, 0 losses, and 5 knockouts? I don't know.
I mean, I guess we'll find out tomorrow, but just for the record, so I'm on it, I'm picking Jamal Harvey to win. Just so that everybody knows.
I'm with you.
I'm rocking with you, Harvey. I'm rocking.
Write it down. Write it down. I'm with you.
I'll write it down. Okay. So then, again, Anderson Silva, 50 years old, Tyrone Woodley. I think that they just threw this fight out there just because to get a different audience to be maybe interested in watching it. Honestly, I just hope that nobody gets seriously hurt on that one. Anderson Silva's 50, man. Anderson Silva is our age, Clay. Like, what's he doing? What are you doing, bro?
But Anderson is Bruce Lee, bro. He's like water, bro. You know what I'm saying? He ages differently than the rest of us, bro. The Spider ages differently, bro. The Spider's a legend. That's more of an MMA conversation, but man, the Spider is just a whole, he's just a whole energy. It's the chi with him, you know what I mean? So he's kind of like Bernard Hopkins to a degree where you just don't talk about him the same way. He's just able to move and do things that not everybody can do. Tyrone Woodley, I'm be real with you, I saw his ring work when he did his media workout. I wasn't impressed.
Terrible.
I think
Draw.
I mean, I don't
such
think
a
any
damn
one
boy.
of us is going to pick against Anderson Silva, man.
Nah,
I'm
He's
going
just
with
such
a
a
draw.
legend.
I'm going with Anderson. I'm not even going.
I'm going with a draw because
Matter of fact, Anderson with the knockout. What's up?
Oh
That's-
my god,
that's so
up?
funny.
What's up? Anderson
going with the
a
draw.
knockout. What's up?
With
What's
the possible upset. I mean,
That's
possible
about to happen.
clinch by
Anderson's about to piece that boy up, bro. Watch. You about to go to
Anderson, I just want to
to
make sure that your back ends up okay, man. You're our age, bro.
We going a different direction.
Look, Anderson's gonna go into the Matrix, bro. I'll never forget when that dude put down Forrest Griffin, bro. The way he did that when he was just like slipping and just getting just far enough out the distance and just catching him with these shots, and he just made that man swim.
Yeah, he knocked out not Forrest Griffin. It was the other guy. I'm forgetting his name right now, Frank. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So, all right, and then the co-main event, women's boxing, 12 rounds, 3 minutes. Alicia Baumgardner versus the Canadian Leila Biodon. 13-1, 29 years old. Who you picking? Who's going against Alicia? Ray? You going against Alicia Baumgardner?
Hey, let's be honest now. Let's talk about this here now. Alicia Baumgardner in her last performance against
she didn't look good.
Miranda,
She didn't look good against Jennifer Miranda. She did not look good.
She's in there with another Jennifer Miranda, from what I could tell. She's in there with somebody.
Yes and no.
So are you guys picking against it? Are you saying?
Yes and no. Yes and no. So I said before that fight that Alicia Baumgardner was going to have her work cut out for her. She had a girl that was bigger than her, more muscular than her, and not afraid of her in that ring, and was going to give her some trouble. They kind of softened this one up a little bit. I think Leo doing whatever her name is. Baudouin. Okay, whatever.
No, just say
croissant. Let's just call her croissant. All right, that's what her name is from now on. No disrespect, because I'm not going French. But you should be able to pronounce this easy too. I'm sorry.
I can't. Hey, bro, I'm Haitian. I'm not French, bro.
I know.
We're about to close it out, Ray. Wrap it up, man. Wrap it up.
Leila, we're doing. All right.
What you got?
Anyway, I think she's a softer test for Alicia Baumgardner. I think this is the one that they want to make an exciting fight because they want that Caroline Dubois fight. So they're giving her something that's a light touch so she can get the knockout. And I think this is going to be the one that she stops this girl. That's why they made it 3-minute rounds. That's why they're giving her opportunity to fight and box. And Alicia Baumgardner is probably going to come in there with a little bit of different style than what she did with Derek James. I think she moved trainers, right? Or she's still with Derek James?
No, it's still all the same. Come on, Ray.
Oh, man, I hope not. I hope not. But anyway, if she does, she's going to come in there and she's going to stop this young lady. I'm going with Baumgardner. Geez, too many women boxers. Baumgardner on the stoppage.
All right. Yeah, I'm going Alicia on the win, and all three of us are going Jake Paul. So, Clay, anything else? I'm saying
one more thing. Who looks better, Caroline tomorrow or Alicia?
Caroline. Caroline's going to look amazing.
I think. It is what it is, guys. Until the next one is at ATP Combat Media Show. Hit the like button if you haven't done so. Subscribe to the channel. Until the next one. At this point, we out.
Would make it this far, they hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back, you ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this, go up. You know it's all net when it goes.